Hello?
Give it up for our panelists! The way we're going to start is we're going to introduce yourself, what you do, where you're from, and then I'll run the panel. So we'll do it on the line.
Okay, I'll be as brief as possible. My name is Ed Colwell. I am here representing Perfect Publishing. In addition to publishing books, we also have a marketing plan and we're a media company, so we help our authors work, have impact in the world and reach a broader span of people. My personal background, I worked for 20 years in the aerospace industry, starting in the late 90s, helping with geosynchronous weather satellites for NOAA. Then I transitioned to Goddard Space Flight Center to work on NASA's environmental low Earth orbit spacecraft. But I spent the majority of my career doing deep space exploration missions at the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory. My first planetary mission was Messenger. That was the first spacecraft to ever be captured in the gravity well of the planet Mercury and conduct orbital observations. And then I transitioned to New Horizons, which did a flyby observation of the Pluto-Chiron system, and it was also the first spacecraft to image a Kuiper Belt object. It holds the distinction of that it will be the fifth man-made object to egress the heliopause of our solar system and become an interstellar spacecraft. So that's kind of my story, but I came to 1% to hear your stories and help you tell them to the world.
Yeah. How come I keep following people with that degree? I'm Dan Skoka, so I'm from Long Island, New York. I'm a physician assistant in orthopedic surgery. I started my career about 10 years ago doing orthopedic spine surgery. My actual mainstay that I started up in was personal training. I have an exercise physiology degree from Hofstra University. That's where I pretty much started up, and I carried that into medicine. So now I actually have developed a practice / program that I'm working on right now, which is going to be in obesity management as well as personal training at the same time simultaneously. So I'm trying to actually combine both fields together with medicine itself as well as personal training, and that's pretty much my realm right now.
Believe that. My name is Terry Yaffe. I am an executive business and communications coach, and when I talk, you'll hear all about me.
Can you talk to us on why you're here, what purpose means to you, and what 1% means to you, and why? Because you and your business partner do something that's really amazing. You guys write books together, you impact children. Can you talk about that a little bit and on the importance of the impact?
Absolutely, thanks for the question. Yes, my partner who couldn't be here today is Ken Rochon, Dr. Ken Rochon. He goes by the sobriquet Dr. Smiley. He has just recently written his 60th book, just days before his 60th birthday. He managed to put out a book a year. And he has something called the Keep Smiling movement. And the Keep Smiling movement, we have a stack of cards in the back there. He goes around and finds very influential people who are doing positive things in the world, and he photographs them holding that card. And the money that we're trying to raise for that foundation is to promote mental and dental welfare, the two things that bring a smile together. You have to have the smile up here, and you got to be comfortable enough with yourself to show it on your face. So we find dentists that are, thank you. we find dentists that are willing to volunteer some time to repair people's smiles who have some severe dental disfigurements. So that's part of what we do. We like to amplify goodness in the world and give voice to people who are doing positive things.
Thank you. Yes. Love that. Lines with my impact. Dan Soka. Dan Soka, impact and purpose means to you. I met Dan we were at a school in the Bronx, mentoring kids on a Saturday all day long, and I was so shocked that we had kids in the Bronx on a Saturday excited to be in school. It was the most appalling thing I've ever seen, and I got to meet Dan there as well, and my question was, why are these kids so excited? And it was because they knew people were there to pour into them, so I knew everybody there was a good connection, and Dan's been more than part of my wealth.
Thank you. So yeah, that's actually absolutely correct, and I was going to tie that in right now. So I focused my entire career on helping people, whether it be from personal training in exercise physiology to being a PA in orthopedic surgery, being in the hospital and everything like that. I've never had this conversation with Dylan really prior to this, but that day meant a lot more to me than anybody realizes. And I've never done a mentoring event. I've never helped out children like that to any degree. But that really hit home for me. It was something that when I walked in that room, I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know who I was going to meet. I didn't know what I was going to do. But we kind of winged it. And honestly, that meant a lot to me, seeing those smile on those kids' faces and stuff like that. That really hit home for me. So as far as purpose, I know it sounds generic, but I really just want to help people. That's what I base my career on. That's what I do. That's what I'm continuing to do. As far as what 1% means to me, honestly, I know most people think it means being in the top 1% of things. I understand that. That's great. But to me, it just means showing up. You showed up, you put yourselves in this room, you want to learn, you want to hear from everybody, you want to listen to everyone, the speeches, the talks. That's what it means to me, just showing up, honestly. Putting yourself out there, networking yourself, talking to people around you, saying, what's up to people next to you. That's really what it means to me, that you guys put yourselves in this room, you showed up, and you put yourselves out there.
Terry, can you talk to us about what impact means to you and what your purpose is?
Yes. So, you've all heard these amazing speakers today. Every one of them got up on this stage and was willing to be vulnerable, to be open, and to tell their truth in very, very impactful ways. My purpose is I work with my clients so that at the end of the day, they can get up here like every one of these speakers and be exactly like them. Vulnerable.
I didn't know you were done. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Can you share with the audience what the importance of showing up means to you?
Well, I think that being consistent with people is something that is extremely valued. I think that a lot of people receive messages in subtle ways that they are just not important enough to matter, especially when someone says, I'm too busy. I've been real busy. I'm so sorry we haven't talked. I'm too busy. You make time for your priorities. Being too busy means that, it's not important enough to you. So I say showing up, it means being consistent and following through. And if you give your word to somebody, you make sure that you stand by it.
Love that. Dan, can you talk to the audience about what showing up means to you?
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of what I just touched base on. You put yourself in the room, you say what's up to the person next to you and everything like that. Showing up to me just means putting yourself out there. You make yourself vulnerable, like Terry touched on just now. Everybody who's gotten on the stage today has made themselves vulnerable to some degree. That's what it means to me, honestly. Putting yourself in the room, talking to people, setting goals for yourself, and honestly, not procrastinating. Doing things when you say you're going to do them. When I was younger, I really procrastinated a lot, even in college, throughout my entire college career, honestly, I procrastinated to some degree. And then I kind of started setting goals for myself after I graduated, and I was in my young 20s and everything like that, and I really propelled from there. But really about goal setting, honestly, that's what you have to do, and you have to really execute. You can't sit there and procrastinate. So showing up to me means really setting goals, keep working hard and keep trying to accomplish.
Before Terry shares an amazing, powerful story, I'm going to add what showing up means to me. So we're going to talk about it later, but I was adopted twice, and my second adopted father told me, Dylan, if there's anything you learn from me ever, is I want you to know showing up means everything as a man. And when he told me that at 14 years old, I've never experienced something that impactful ever. And since that day, I've showed up 110% emotionally, physically, mentally, for everybody in my corner. So like, this year, learning about what my wealth meant, I'm staring at my wealth right now. And like, there's been many times today that I've been emotional seeing people. I mean, shout out. The executive producer who signed me at 19 and changed my life forever flew from the DR today to intro me for my keynote. Give him a round of applause. King Carl Michelle. I have 13 states here, so I feel loved, I feel appreciated. I think this community is special. And it's changed my life, it's changed Kyle's life, it's changed Blake's life. It's amazing, we love you. Terry, can you share your impactful story? You're up.
I know. I get it. I think for me, showing up, and I think everybody today said it in a very different way, showing up in your authentic self, being the best version of yourself. That's showing up, and being willing to show up in your authentic self, in telling the truth about yourself, and what you are and who you are, and not sugarcoating it. At one time, I remember I would never talk about my past, never talk about where I grew up. And I remember in one of Brené Brown's books, she talked about if you don't own your past, that will define you. At that moment, I had a real mind-blowing aha moment. And from that time on, I tell my truth. And that's what showing up is.
I thought you were going to tell your story about your key card, your cards. Are you doing that?
Can I do that?
That's right now.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you. Oh, wow. Everyone here has done amazing, amazing work. Except I noticed one thing. I'm wondering if any of you have also noticed it. Up to date, I am the third woman to get up and talk. Everyone else has been men. And I know Megan will get up, so she'll be the fourth. So, I'm Terry Yaffe. I'm an executive business and communications coach. However, and by the way, I have to apologize for my cards. I've been having a lot of issues, and I haven't really focused on figuring out my entire talk, so I have my teleprompter. So let's look at the elephant in the room. If anyone hasn't noticed it, my knee brace and my upcoming surgery. I am having knee replacement surgery. And I'm putting it off for a really, really, really long time. I did injections, I did nerve ablations, I did anything not to do this. So when I thought about my journey of my knee, what I realized is it's just a metaphor for life, both professionally and personally. And it all comes down to shoulda, woulda, coulda. And when we look at that, it doesn't serve us, any of us. And we all make up stories because we don't want to face something. Like making a business decision that you know you have to make, however, you're putting it off. making excuses, and that's what we do. So how many people here can identify with making excuses, putting things off? Raise your hand. Right. It's like our nature. And all of that prevents us from doing exactly what we need to do. And the thing is, we all have options because our number one power is choice. And if you don't choose, not choosing is making a choice. So to be successful in life, we have to level up and we have to do what it takes. However, we don't want to do the hard work. None of us want to do the hard work. What we want is the easy or the avoidance. It's easier to do that. I've been a coach for over 20 years. Look what I just did. So everybody can do that. You don't have to be a coach. I did get my surgery. I'm sorry, I have to drink some water. I didn't get my surgery because I hate surgeries. I have a great fear of going in and having a surgery. So what did I do? I made up my own set of excuses. And in life and in business, when we do that, that kind of a mindset comes with consequences. Yes, they're livable, but they don't give us the life we want or what we deserve. That's for sure. So I can hardly walk. I have pain in my knee all the time. The brace, the meds don't work that well. So I am off to surgery on October 1st, and the recovery is quite a while. And I'm doing it in fourth quarter. What's so important about fourth quarter is when all my clients want to look at 2025. They want to set their goals, they want strategies. I'm going to be a little out of commission. It's going to be tough. So you can imagine what it would have been like if I had chosen to do this during a slow time in my business. Easier. So my goal now is to heal and to be the best version of myself instead of procrastinating. How many people procrastinate here? Yeah, we all do. But there's something about procrastinating or waiting too long. It's a last resort. And sometimes we miss or we lose opportunities or we never get the opportunity. So procrastination, making excuses. And with that, we don't reach our goals or our successes when we procrastinate and put off the obvious because we tell ourselves these amazing, beautiful stories, very elaborate, Hans Christian Andersen-like, or our limiting beliefs, what we think is there. And it doesn't help us become more of who we are or who we want to become. So here's my recap. What are you putting off, both personally and professionally, that is holding you back? Well, that's me. That's holding you back because it's easier to tell ourselves the stories than to do the hard work and to become the best version of ourselves in life so we can thrive. Remember, timing is everything. So here's the thing. Do you want to be looking down the barrel of knee replacement surgery when I could have done something sooner? But it would have been out of choice. For me now, it's a last resort because I can't move Like Russ says, he does his walks. I can't walk. So at the beginning of my talk, I introduced myself as an executive business and communications coach. Those are just words. And hopefully, I have told you a little bit through my storytelling what I do. Oh, you still haven't figured out what I do? What I do is I help my clients navigate today's complexity in the business landscape by working with them to figure out what is stopping them from reaching their goals, their successes, and their desired outcomes. Together, we uncover those fears and those challenges that are standing in their way so that they can now make the necessary choices leading to their success and fulfillment in their business and in life. And by the way, did you know that virtually every successful business person has had a coach? Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. That was amazing. To finish with the panel, can you answer what it means to show up as your best self?
Oh, I don't excel at answering questions extemporaneously, so that's not where I'm my best self. I like my partner. His mind works like a microwave. Mine's more like a crock pot. He comes up with 1,000 ideas. I like to stew on mine, so we have pretty good synergy. So I think when I have someone to work with different from myself that has a different way of approaching problems, I find more effective solutions as well.
Thank you. Can you talk about how it is to show up as your best self and the importance of that?
Yeah, honestly, so kind of how Terry approached this before about procrastination, honestly, I think that's something that plays a big role in a lot of people's lives, and I think that it sets people back in certain ways when, attempting to, achieve their goals and certain things. So honestly, one thing I've tried to do over the past couple of years is really wake up in the morning and just try to put my best foot forward and focus as hard as I can. I try to write things down. And show up as your best self to me just means that you have to put forth the effort as much as you can. I know that sounds a little bit cliche, but that's how I look at things now. You have to set the goals, you have to keep regimented. That's honestly how I see showing up as my best self. It's a process, but it's something that you have to just put forth every day.
Awesome. Thank you. Give a round of applause for our panelists. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, we're done. Awesome. Thank you guys.